Thank you, everyone, for joining me today as AWWA conducts its traditional gavel passing ceremony. This tradition recognizes the transition from Melissa Elliott as president of AWWA to Dr. Chiho Sham as AWWA's 140th president. This is what I call a moment. I often speak of moments to draw people's attention to the significance of events. I like to ask that people pause for a moment and really soak in what's happening so that they can enjoy the importance of it and the significance of it. And I'd like to invite all of you to join me today as we do that. Also, I just think these are moments where it's appropriate to reflect on things of the past. And I'd like to just remind everyone, and by the way of example, use some things as moments that you may resonate with you. Over a year ago, we all learned quickly, probably quicker than we could have imagined we would, how to work remotely. That was a moment. Over a year ago, those of you who joined us at this event, you would remember that Melissa became our president, but you probably did not anticipate that she would become our first all-virtual president. And if you remember her speech, it included the fact that we would get better at this. And I'm going to return to that at the end of my opening remarks. But that was certainly a moment for AWWA and for the water sector. And now, as we are drawing AWWA's ACE21 All Virtual to a close, I can't help but reflect on two things. First, Melissa was correct when she said we would get better at this. But again, I'll return to what this is at the end. And second, this gavel passing carries with it some heft. I can't exactly say what this heft is, although I've experienced this moment several times as your CEO. But I do feel like this year it has a little extra heft. So I hope you'll enjoy that. Before I get into talking about the significance of this moment, I'd like to give you a little rundown on ACE21. First, let me start by thanking the Cal Nevada section of AWWA for being the co-hosts of this event. We really couldn't have done this without your help, and we really appreciate it. Second, we did exceed our expectations with attendance, with over 1,600 attendees, and that includes 100, I almost said 1,000, but that would be great. That's a goal for next year. That includes 100 students and attendees from 9 countries outside of North America. I also want to provide a very special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Xylem, and the other 93 sponsors that helped make this event possible. And as a happy surprise, the puppy cam was a big success this year. Also, as a final sort of comment about ACE21, I hope you all remember that for the next 30 days, any of the technical sessions will be available to you on demand. We had some competitions this year, and in those competitions, we now know who the winners are. So let me announce that the best of the best water taste test goes to Massachusetts Water Resources Authority in Boston. And the second place winner goes to our hometown, Fort Collins, Colorado water utility, and our nearby water utility in the city of Bozeman, Montana. Congratulations to all of you. The best virtual commercial goes to Mueller Water Products, and the just completed Water Trivia Challenge. I have the 3 winners of that. The first place winner is Tom Walski. I'm sorry if I get your names wrong. Walski from Bentley. The second place is Dave Huey from Contra Costa Water District. And the third place is Carmine Uricoli from Aquarian Water. So congratulations to all of you for winning the trivia contest. I'd also want to take a minute and thank everyone for their participation and for joining ACE21 as viewers. The conference was made for you, designed for you, and we are pleased that you attended. I also want to recognize the time and investment the talented speakers put into making sure the programming was as excellent as it was, as well as all of our generous sponsors. We can't do programs like this without that sort of partnership. Third, I want to take a moment and recognize the dedicated, talented staff of AWWA. Their dedication and their hard work to make this a success was clear and evident in the final product. Finally, I want to thank the AWWA board and the 43 sections of AWWA for their constant support and devotion to AWWA's members and to all of our stakeholders. Now, back to this moment. So Melissa is not just any president. She is the 139th president. She is the third female president for AWWA in the past 5 years, and that has never happened before. As best I can tell, she is the second ever AWWA president who is a professional communicator. And I can say for certain, as I did earlier, she is our first ever all virtual president. In this moment, Melissa's presidency reflects positively on several things. First, the selection of a communication professional as AWWA's top volunteer leader speaks loud and clear about AWWA's commitment to strengthening public trust in water. Second, Melissa is a model of how water sector's modern day leaders can come from a variety of professions and backgrounds, and how this allows others to see that they could possibly belong to and have an impact in the water community. But mostly, Melissa, as our leader, knew that we would get better at this. And when she said that a year ago, she knew she was speaking that we would get better at this, and that means more than just Zoom meetings. I'll let all of you ponder on all of the things you have gotten better at this past year because we have been virtual. And in this moment, AWWA could not have had a better president than Melissa. Please join me in welcoming my friend and our president, Melissa Elliott, to the podium.
Oh, thank you, David. That was so kind. You know, it has been 463 days since my last flight, which actually was taken with David. We were on AWWA business. We had flown to Newark, New Jersey to meet with section leadership there. And, you know, I knew the world was changing when I boarded my flight from Denver the day before. When I booked that flight a few weeks prior, there were no seats. There's like 10 seats to choose from. And when I got to the airport, I got on the plane, just 24 people joined me. And that's about 10% capacity. And I had my wipes and my sanitizer ready. I'd like scourged those because remember they weren't available back then. And when I got to Newark, we bumped elbows with section leadership. But you know, we had dinner in a crowded restaurant and met in a conference room the next day with a bunch of folks. And then on my flight home, it had a few more people on it. But I got to say, I was watching the news. Much like you guys remember all this, my anxiety was kind of rising because I knew our world was changing. I got off that flight. I could not get to the bathroom fast enough to wash my hands. And when I got to the ladies' room, there was a line out the door quite a ways, and it was not for the stalls. That's the first time that's ever happened. It was for the sinks and the soap. And you all can probably relate to that. So the pandemic and the associated need to keep our staff and our volunteers safe and healthy has meant that my term as AWWA president has been entirely virtual. With the transition of ACE21 to a virtual event this year, that meant that except for a handful of some incredibly supported Rocky Mountain section leadership that's here with me again today, I have gone an entire year without seeing another AWWA member without a computer screen between us. And I can't even imagine what that was, before that, I couldn't imagine what that was like, but it was frankly, it's a disappointment, because truly the water professionals that make up AWWA are why I ran for office, and the engagement with the people that make up the association is at the top of the list of what I miss most about the last year. But look, we've all got used to losses over the last year. And in reality, I have been so fortunate to be able to apply my leadership skills at perhaps a time when they were needed the most. And thank you, David, for recognizing that. So while I'm out here at AWWA, by the way, it is 99 degrees here in Denver. It's a little warm, but it's a beautiful day. And I'm under the supportive gaze of dozens of AWWA and Rocky Mountain section leaders. Some of my coworkers from Raftellus are here, and my family's here as well. I'm really thankful for the opportunity that I had. And so a year ago, when I looked ahead, I saw three key themes. And yes, I did say we would get better at this, but there were three areas I really wanted to focus on. And that was economics, engagement, and equity. And so I just want to give you a snapshot of where we are on those three areas. Let's start with economics. AWWA remains financially strong. We have solid reserves. We have excellent financial leadership. And it is really in our water sector DNA to be risk averse and also to be financially conservative. And boy, did that serve us well over the last year. Because, we are reliant on a major revenue generator, and that's our conferences. And those things just could not happen over the last year. So I'm really pleased and proud of how we pivoted so quickly to offer virtual offerings to our members to keep people with us and engaged and make sure that they had the information they needed. Also, we pivoted really quickly on financial concerns and put some safety nets in place to ensure continuity, and it worked. And I'm just thrilled to see in-person events coming back. I'm booking travel now for Utility Management Conference early August. I hope to see you there, just a plug for that. We're hoping everybody comes back for that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And the second thing I thought about was engagement, and I knew it would be key. I knew people were going to be craving it more than ever. And although I have been our first, and Chiho, I hope only, virtual president, the connections, events, the meetings, the discussions, those all still happen, folks. And it's just that they happen through a computer. And there is something really unique about us as water professionals, that we take the time to come together, even in the midst of the crises that were happening throughout the last year. I think it says a lot about why AWWA matters more now than ever. And I'm incredibly proud that we became a convener over the last year, more than we've ever been, and we will continue to be a convener. We bring people together, and we provide a place to come to share information. We're a place to check in on your colleagues and your peers and see what's going on, and we're a place to continue your network. And when you think about it, one of our great successes in the last year is that AWWA provided a space that was more normal than much of what was happening in the rest of your life, right? The resources and the connections that you've always had at AWWA are all still there. And while we paused in-person sessions for a brief period, other than that, nearly every other activity, program, standard, committee, council, section, et cetera, continues to motor forward, thanks to our volunteers and our staff. The third area of focus I saw was equity, and that is where we saw so much progress. In August, we updated our association strategic plan to include advancing diversity and inclusion as a value. And I'm proud of the work that our Diversity and Membership Inclusion Committee did this year. Our executive committee of the board, just last week, we approved unanimously a significant update to our diversity and inclusion policy statement. And we are on the cusp of launching a diversity and inclusion strategic plan that will really move us forward faster in this area. And throughout the year, I had the benefit of having so many conversations about this topic. And it's obvious to me that our volunteer leaders believe that attaining our vision of a better world through better water requires us to invite everyone to the table and value what they have to say. So what we do matters to our members and to the communities we serve as well. And I'm particularly proud that our volunteer leaders have battled COVID-19 by making sure their employees were safe and protected, and that they advocated for their essential employees to get prioritized for vaccinations. When I haven't been serving as AWWA's virtual president, I consult with utilities across the country for Raftellus, and I know lost revenue is a concern because so many utilities voluntarily curtailed shutoffs to ensure people going through tough economic times had the water and sanitation services they needed. This is an incredibly meaningful and impactful decision that put people first. So 463 days later, the time has come when we can bump elbows and meet in crowded conference rooms again, and I'll be able to see your smiles and look directly into your eyes without a computer screen between us. And my only concern is that I might just be a little giddy about that with my excitement at seeing you outside of the little box on a laptop screen, and I can only imagine the whispers behind my back. Oh, her? Yeah, that's Melissa. Yeah, she's been wildly enthusiastic since she spent an entire year as AWA's virtual president. And be careful, that virtual stuff turned her into a hugger. So fair warning, folks. So before I pass the gavel, I need to thank a bunch of people. My husband, Michael's here with me today, and he never fails to be the support and sounding board I need to advance whatever professional endeavor I've decided to pursue. My mother is here with me too, and that means a lot to me. And I must also give a shout out to my employer, Raftellus, and in particular, our communications and marketing team and our firm's leadership. Quite literally, I couldn't have done this without you. It means so much to me to work for and with people who value the water industry and professional development as much as I do. And serving as president is a significant time commitment, and Raftellus's leadership has been 100% behind me on that journey. That alone says a lot about how much we value our employees, some of which are here today. So to Rocky Mountain Section and Public Affairs Council, you folks gave rise to my passion for all things AWWA. And to our executive committee, board of directors, David LaFrance, and my fellow presidential officers and our treasurer, Jim Williams, John Eaton, Chi Ho Sham, and our incoming president-elect, Joe Jackangelo. It's been an honor to lead our association with you. And I couldn't ask for a better team, and one that has so much experience to draw from at a time when we really needed it. And I've saved the best for last because AWA staff are truly the best. The amount of work they've put into ACE21 as a virtual event is substantial. It's harder to do virtual stuff than in-person stuff, but they put that much thought and work into everything they do. And AWA staff make the magic that is our association happen. And it never fails to impress me. So thank you for all you do. It's a true partnership with our volunteers. And with that, I think it's time to hear from some of our past presidents who have some words of wisdom for Chiho and I.
Melissa and Chiho, congratulations on your incredible combined leadership of AWWA with these really heady times. Melissa, congratulations to you for a job well done. Chiho, congratulations on being able to lead this exceptional association into the future on behalf of all of our stakeholders. Both of you together have done an outstanding job, and I know the stakeholders really appreciate everything you've done. And once again, what an honor and a privilege to lead such an exceptional association. Thank you so much.
Chiho, greetings from Texas. And hearty congratulations to you on your ascendancy to the president of the American Waterworks Association. I want to wish you the best as you have taken the helm, or will take the helm, I guess, shortly for AWWA, and especially as you focus on bolstering the public confidence in the water sector, and really even more importantly, as you work to bolster the public's confidence in the people behind the water sector, the greatest asset that's out there, and the real heroes of the environment and the quality of life that we all lead. I want to say to you and to your family, we look forward to hosting you next June in Texas, in San Antonio, as we have the first post-pandemic ACE where we come together again. And what an exciting time that's going to be. So to you and Joan, Cassie, and Alex, I just hope that you have a great year this year. Enjoy it. It's going to pass fast. So from Texas and from Cindy and myself, we wish you the best. Take care.
Hi. I'm honored to have this opportunity to recognize and thank Melissa for a remarkable year as president of AWWA. Melissa, I am sure when you decided to run for president, you never, not even once, thought you'd have to navigate a global pandemic while leading one of America's most important organizations dedicated to public health. But you did, and more importantly, you did it in an exceptional way. Your calm demeanor, confident leadership style, in combination with your expertise in public communication, was truly the right person for the job in this time in AWWA's history, and you will most definitely be remembered. Thank you for your contributions and dedication to AWWA's mission, and I want to wish you the best of luck with everything you do in the future.
Greetings from Pennsylvania. Congratulations, Chiho. This is truly an honor and the opportunity of a lifetime. Enjoy every minute. I just have one request. Could we actually have a real conference next year in San Antonio? If we do, the margaritas are on me.
Dr. Sham, what a privilege it is to help recognize you for your leadership to AWWA and the water profession. I've known you for most of my water career and always enjoyed serving with you on the board. I had a deep appreciation for your knowledge and attention to detail. You could remember 43 section bylaws and the specifics in each one. Whenever we had business at hand to achieve, you were an essential role in accomplishing that. That is one of my fondest memories of you. That and listening to you tell how your mother boiled water for you and your brother as you were small children in Hong Kong so that you had safe water to drink, and how that influenced the career path that you chose. It's not surprising that your parents' commitment to service and paying it forward helped to form the foundation for you to become the leader that you are today. And you and your wife have clearly passed that on to your son and daughter. I look at the leadership that AWWA has been so fortunate in the past to have. I look forward to continued success. You are an inspiration. Chiho, take a deep breath, my friend, and enjoy your term as AWWA president. We will follow you with extreme confidence.
Chiho, congratulations and thank you for your willingness to serve as AWWA president. You are about to embark upon a year you'll never forget at the helm of the world's largest and most influential water association. It has been a sincere pleasure to work with you during our time on the executive committee together, and I have no doubt that you will lead AWWA with professionalism, enthusiasm, and integrity. And Melissa, what an amazing job you have done during the most turbulent of times. AWWA and the entire water industry was very fortunate to have a person of your caliber in charge during this past year. You're not quite done yet, but the heavy lifting, along with the gavel, now get passed along to Chiho. Chiho and Melissa, thank you for your service.
Wow, that was really powerful. And it does say that today our event is really about Chiho and our 140-year tradition of passing our leadership on. So Chiho, I know, is the right person at the right time. And while we get to choose when we step up into leadership, Chiho, we don't get to choose what happens when we get there. I learned that well this last year. And if I were to look into my crystal ball, I see Chiho leading us into a highly inclusive and successful future, one that continues what we started together. But Chiho, you will be leading us through building back and taking us to a place where we've learned and making us better. So come up here, Chiho. I want to congratulate you on becoming our next president, and welcome to our legacy.
Thank you so much. And actually, well, Melissa, you've been doing an outstanding job in this last year.
Thank you.
And to celebrate your retirement from that position, we're going to present you with this pin for past president.
Thank you. Thank you. And as part of our awesome gavel passing tradition, which Jim and I did virtually, last year. It's so nice to do it in person. So Chiho, I expect you will have the same wonderful experience I did as president. And it's inspiring to see the magnitude of this organization and behind the scenes work of so many wonderful members, dedicated volunteers and strong sections. So we are so proud that we'll be working together with you and striving to make a better world through better water. Chiho, it's my pleasure to officially present this gavel.
Thank you.
To you, and congratulations.
And I will use this wisely. Well, thank you. Thank you, Melissa, our first truly virtual president of AWWA. I want to thank you for your leadership during a very challenging time for our members and the association. I am so glad to have you, a superb communicator, to pull all the right tools from the toolbox to help us weather the storm and keep us on track to continue providing value to our member and advance our mission to provide safe and affordable water to the public. As some of you may have read in the recent issue of AWWA Connection, I am the son of two factory workers who migrated to Hong Kong, then a British colony, in the 1940s from Shanghai, China, as many industrial operations were leaving China because of internal turmoil. My parents met in Hong Kong and they settled down during the Civil War in China. My younger brother and I were born in the mid-50s when Hong Kong was just on the verge to transform into a world-class city. In the early 60s, Hong Kong was growing very rapidly and at the same time suffering from severe drought. During the worst drought period, we had running water for 4 hours every 4 days. So I truly understand what it is like to live through a day without water. In addition, boiling water, it was mentioned previously by Brenda, that we boil water every morning for drinking water purpose, and that's practiced pretty much in every single household. And also at that time, we stopped pushing the use of seawater for flushing our toilet, which of course required a separate infrastructure. And actually back in about 2000, about 79% of the building in Hong Kong are flushing using seawater. So it's one way to overcome water shortage. In addition, Hong Kong started to build freshwater reservoir in the sea, purchase water from China, implement desalination, and also tackle affordability as the population grow at a very rapid pace. So as you can see, is that what's going on in the western part of the United States is really not new. It's been going on in many, many places. So I believe my encounter with drinking water challenge in Hong Kong did play a very important role in steering me to a career in water. At 20, I was faced with a fault in the road, either stay and take my secure spot in the University of Hong Kong or leave and study overseas. Although there's a lot of pressure on me to stay, I decided to take the risk to explore a completely different environment by moving from the subtropical Hong Kong to the temperate prairie province of Saskatchewan in Canada to begin my undergraduate study at the University of Regina. And that's the reason why I can tolerate a jacket and a tie, because that was the regular temperature in Hong Kong. So that's not unusual. I was at awe when I realized I was able to see the land horizon when I was in Saskatchewan because of the flatness and openness of the land. In addition, I learned in person about what winter is really like in continental temperate climate. Like when you say minus 40 degree, centigrade and Fahrenheit actually match up. And also I felt minus 80 degree wind chill, what is it really like on my skin. After 2.5 years in Regina, while studying for my undergraduate and working as a short order cook and a bartender to help pay my bills, I started looking for a warmer place. And believe me, it's not very hard to find at that point. So then in that case, I can continue my graduate study. Well, given Buffalo, New York was 7.5 degrees south of Regina, I decided to apply to University of Buffalo to study planning and earth science. To make a long story short, I ended up starting my master's degree in 1978 in fluvial geomorphology, and then in 1980, I was convinced to stay put to work on my doctoral on water resource management and hydrology. Before I finished my doctoral dissertation, I was offered a one-year teaching position at Boston University in 1982. Given the fact that I could move another half a degree south, I happily accepted the offer and moved to Boston without any second thought. I completed my dissertation in '84 and stayed on as a junior faculty member until 1991, when I started a new chapter of my work life by becoming a technical consultant on two major aspects of the Safe Drinking Water Act. Part of it is the underground injection control program, and the other part is drinking water protection. While at Boston University, I started working on a variety of research projects that ranges from air pollution, natural resource management, water quality, hydrology, urban forestry, and also tropical deforestation. Then I got involved with source water protection under the 1996 Safe Drinking Water Act Amendment and became a volunteer at the New England Water Works Association, a section of AWWA, to work on source water protection issue. From there, I was recruited to join Source Water Protection Committee at the association level. Since then, I moved through the various volunteer units under the Technical and Educational Council, participate in source water protection, climate change, utility quality management, and water resource sustainability. I was also able to support the Standard Council as the chair of the Source Water Protection Standard Committee and as an at-large council member for 6 years. As we speak, I'm still working on completing the stormwater utility management standard with great support from a group of outstanding professionals, and some of them are actually here with me. In addition, I was able to be involved with the Innovation Initiative, Strategic Planning, and Young Professional Committee as a board member while serving as the chair of the Technical and Educational Council. And that's why I love the young professional, because I'm still young in heart. Speaking about the board of directors, I want to emphasize the importance of our section. As you recall, my volunteer career with AWWA started at a section. Because of the vastness of North America and the local nature of water, our section are in the best position to understand their challenges and solutions as related to drinking water. I'm a big fan of section because, pardon the cliche, I believe drinking water requires to tackle them both from a top-down and also a bottom-up approach. The collaboration between the association and the sections, and also between sections, have offered and will also continue to offer us optimal solution to many of these problems. As part of the AWWA Executive Committee, one of the best features as a member is to be able to visit sections, just like Melissa had talked about. I am looking forward to, similar to other members of the Executive Committee, visiting section in person to get to know each other better and to identify and work on collaborative opportunities. During my journey through AWWA, I was humbled and grateful to be nominated by my peers and receive the OASIS Award in 2013. OASIS stands for Outstanding Achievement, Service, and Initiative in Sustainability of Water Resources. And then in 2016, I was nominated by the AWWA staff and received the Volunteer of the Year Award. During the same year, while attending the annual conference in Chicago, I was asked by an AWWA engineering and technical service staff member that I would be interested in serving as the president of the association. I believe that was the seed of the reason for me to stand in this spot today. As you can see, my professional and personal journey is far from a straight line from point A to point B. Along the way, I learned to ask a lot of questions, also learn diligently, and also collaborate with countless people. I do have to say I'm a very lucky person because I have made an amazing number of friends in the AWWA community. It is partly why I truly miss our in-person meeting because I miss seeing their smile, getting their hugs, shaking their hands, and catching up with them on technical and personal news. So it was an honor to be elected by the AWWA Board of Directors in January 2020 as the president-elect of AWWA. I am very grateful to the nomination committee and the board for their confidence in me. Since January 2020, I have been thinking about all the opportunity to work with you all to advance the vision and mission of AWWA. I believe we have been doing a great job, but there's still a lot to do as a community to make improvement with our drinking water systems. As Helen Keller said, alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. In my view, we are in this industry for the long game. We are here to run a marathon instead of a sprint. Thank you for being persistent and patient as a part of the water community. And I also want to take this opportunity to acknowledge some of the individuals who have contributed to my rich experience during my journey. It's kind of like the Academy Award, so hopefully the music not stop playing. I want to thank Pam Cano and Rich Garlick, two long-time members of AWWA, for recruiting me to the Source Water Protection Committee at the association level in 2002. I want to thank Linda Moody, Cami Jolie, Cynthia Lane, Don Flancher, Paul Olson, Bob Martin, and all the current and prior engineering and technical service staff at AWWA who have tirelessly worked to provide top-notch support to our volunteer in knowledge creation and exchange. I want to also thank Jim Malley, Fred Bratcher, Sharon Long, Janine Dutto, Monica Almalco, Eva Dominski, Jennifer Heyman, John Jones, Sam Raddick, and so many more professionals who have worked with me on a variety of technical issues and projects. In addition, I want to thank Jeannie Bennett Bailey, Brenda Lennox, Dave Rager, Jim William, and Melissa Elliott for their leadership at AWWA President and their encouragement to get me to continue my journey with AWWA. I want to thank David LaFrance, Paula McElwain, and all the senior staff at AWWA for keeping the engine of the association running smoothly over the past decade, even during a very unusual and challenging year. I also want to thank David Meyer, Heidi Schultz, Carolyn Gillette, and my colleague at the Eastern Research Group for their tremendous support that allow me to serve as a presidential officer of AWWA. I want to thank Joan, Alex, and Cassie, my beloved family member, who have put up so much with my crazy work and volunteer schedule and their continued support for all my pay it forward activity. The last thing is to my late parents for their sacrifice and foresight that let me venture out of Hong Kong and take risks to search for what are meaningful to me. I do want to apologize for not able to name everybody who have touched me during my journey and contributing to my experience. So in closing, speaking like a scientist instead of a communicator, I believe it is important for all of us to think critically, learn avidly, and collaborate strategically to link sound science and engineering with effective education and communication to build a resilient workforce and enhance public trust in the water industry. Thank you for spending time with me. I look forward to working with you all to make a better world through better water. Hi, Eddie.